now I would like to introduce the person who beat me by 1/10 of a point, valedictorian, Brian Way.
My fellow graduates, over the last 4 years here at Granite Bay, we have learned a lot. Mr. Becker taught us how to evaluate definite integrals by substitution. Miss Ireland taught us to never ever use the word use in a speech. Mr. Delorto taught us about sniglets. Words that should be words but aren't. Like destination. When you go someplace and immediately forget why you went there. And all of this knowledge will no doubt be valuable as we go forward in life. But the most important thing we have learned over the last 4 years is to, above all else, value ourselves for who we are. I'd like to call attention to the quote, "What lies behind us and what lies before us are tiny matters compared to what lies within us." Some of those involved in student government may recognize this quote. Apparently, it's what you guys decided would be the theme of this graduation ceremony. This cliche is often attributed to the famous Ralph Waldo Emerson, a great American literary figure. However, looking into the history of the quote, it turns out this is not the case at all. Rather, Henry Stanley Haskins, a Wall Street investment banker with loose morals, falsely attributed this to Emerson in order to appear more intelligent. It may seem like I'm making fun of student government, and I am. But that's not my only intention here. What I'm trying to say is that we shouldn't try to be what we aren't. We do our best being who we are. Many think, especially on our campus, that everyone acts, looks, and thinks in the same way. However, after my 4 years here, I realized that this is anything but the case. I mean, sure, we have our football champions and our geniuses with perfect ACT and SAT scores, but every single student, every single one of my fellow graduates contributed his or her own individuality to our school. We all have our unique aspects, our idiosyncrasies, our unconventional ways of doing things. For instance, my friend Alex Ware would, in our AP Physics class no less, argue the benefits of utopian anarchy. Haley Massara's hair seemed to move through the color spectrum bi-weekly. Alex Cheesebro proudly displayed his Scottish heritage with celebratory bagpipes after finals. And I myself habitually used paper that was about 2 centimeters larger than the normal size, infuriating students and teachers alike. Although these examples are what stood out to me the most, there is no shortage of uniqueness amongst all of my fellow graduates. These traits, those that set us apart, are to be treasured. As is only appropriate for the situation, there are a few individuals I would like to thank for helping me get to where I am now. First off, I would like to thank my English teachers throughout my 4 years here for giving me the skills to write this speech. Although I'm sure I'm breaking many compositional rules. I'd like to thank my mom for being as supportive as she was throughout my high school career, and for my dad, teaching how important hard work is, and for letting me know that engineering is not the career path for me. Mr. Delorto for somehow convincing my scientifically biased self that history can be an interesting subject. Mr. Miller for forcing me to develop the study skills necessary for college education. Mrs. Eschbog for being a supportive friend outside of the classroom, and for giving me the opportunity to teach Japanese 3, which served as a basis for my college app essay. I would like to thank all of my friends who are a delight to be around about at least most of the time. Today marks, as is commonly said, a new chapter in our lives. I'm sure we're all excited to go wherever we're going, to dive right into our futures. We all want to find our places in society, to make a living for ourselves, to live life to its fullest, to change the world, and at the end of the day, make hundreds of billions of dollars and retire by 30. Mr. Haskins has a point. Regardless of what the future has in store for us all, we cannot lose sight of who we are. I'd like to leave you with a real quote from Ralph Waldo Emerson. Trust thyself. Every heart vibrates to that iron string. Thank you. I would now like to introduce Mr. Holmes.